Hi, it's Brian from Live from the Lockdown Lounge. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Brought to you by Cranbourne Music. Thank you again, Cranbourne Music. If you were watching on Saturday night, you would know that we got sponsors. Yeah, we got sponsors, Cranbourne Music. And let me tell you, they have stores in Lynbrook and Elizabeth Street City. They are open in-store and online. Thanks again for joining us. Our fifth show, we are still going. We are still pedaling away, entertaining the world, entertaining Melbourne. Maybe the world is a little bit of a reach, but that's okay. That's okay. We're entertaining Melbourne. Maybe Melbourne's a bit of a reach. We are entertaining my family and my mother-in-law. Hi, Alan. Anyway, live from the Lockdown Lounge. Okay, what we do here is we are here to support the music industry. And when we say support the music industry, by chatting to all of the participants within the Melbourne music industry, finding out their stories and sharing their talent and giving you, the viewer, a little bit of an insight into what these people are going through right now. It's been really resonating. Obviously, everybody is doing live streaming at the moment, everybody, which is great, and we encourage you to watch their shows. We found a little niche, a little space in the market, which is just a little bit different to what everybody else is doing, because our main point of difference is about telling stories. And so systematically, we're going to go through every musician in Melbourne and tell you their stories, and we've got a great one for you tonight. But you know what? We've got all of our major segments. We've got our chat, we've got Gig Chicken, we've got Coping with Lockdown, and we have a new segment. It's called Pets Are Good for Ratings. It's got not a lot to do with music, but it's good. It's good for the ratings. So we're going to roll some video now of an ISO dog at play. Roll the video.
You know I'm gonna get You know I'm gonna get
I know, right? It makes you want to watch us even more when you see little doggy. I don't know, when you see little doggies or babies, you want to talk like that. Oh, he's so cute. I've digressed. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm going to introduce you to our first guest, all right? He is a freelance drummer. He's an educator based in Melbourne, Australia. He's a graduate from VCA, Victorian College of the Arts. He's toured Australia, New Zealand, Europe with an Australian band called Vanishing Point. He's been supporting international bands, including, wait for it, Iron Maiden. What? Yep. We've got this guy with us tonight, Dragon Force, Joe Satriani. He's also toured Japan. He now performs with a number of corporate cover bands and original bands, both in Melbourne and around Australia. And he's been performing with one of Australia's, and in fact, one of the world's major tribute band, Bjorn Again. Everybody loves ABBA. So he is Bjorn Again's drummer. You would know him. He's teaching at various secondary schools and his own school at home, online at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Christian Nativo. Christian! Woohoo!
Yayo, how are yous?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. That was a really long intro, but you've got a really long bio. So I spent hours on the internet, researching, and there's a lot of stuff about you, man. You've done a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I came into this industry, but grateful for everything that I've been able to do so far. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you're our first instrumentalist.
Oh, cool.
So you're,
nice.
because you look, there's a lot of live streaming obviously going on at the moment, and it's all sort of vocalist. But we look after the whole industry here at Live from the Lockdown Lounge. So cool. We're also interviewing people like you, which are the the backbeat, literally the backbeat of bands. And I see you're sitting at the drums there, and you've got a couple of songs for us in store today.
Yeah, this is my little humble abode. I do all my remote recording sessions from here, and I do my online teaching inside on the electronic kit, but this is my little monster that I've, big monster that I've created over the years. It's a bit of fun.
It looks cool, and we're going to talk about your online stuff, and we'll get into the heavy chat. But you've also been performing with Bjorn again for a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah, about 4 years, and it's been super fun. It's a really good gig. They look after us, and the audiences are pretty diehard. So and I think any sort of band that had a sort of limited career, I think the tribute bands are basically offering their audience a way to sort of relive their music. I think ABBA only gigged for about 10 years, same as Zeppelin and maybe even the Beatles. So those iconic bands have had quite sort of premature careers in a way. I think the tribute bands are sort of letting them, live on in a way, and the music's timeless. So, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, well, ABBA music is certainly timeless. I mean, it just goes, it still resonates today, and it's such it's used in so many movie soundtracks and things like that. I was actually watching a video of you. I think you were performing in Sydney with Bjorn again, and I love that you insert a drum solo, because I don't remember ABBA doing drum solos in any of their performances, but you do, and it's such an audience participation thing. It's awesome.
Sure. Yeah, it's I mean, just to clarify, the drum solo was not my idea. It serves a purpose. It serves a purpose.
Really, that's not what I heard. I heard you sat down the band and you said, "If you want me to continue, I want my 10 minutes of soloing."
Yeah, that's exactly what. No. Hey, I just need to mention, I've got you on my screen here, but I'm talking up at you here, so don't be alarmed.
No.
What it is, it serves there's certain band members that have costume changes. So the drum solo just buys us about 3 or 4 minutes to sort of facilitate the costume change. So it's there's no ego. I mean, and funnily enough, I when I was coming up in drumming, I came up through that whole sort of solo drumming sort of era where it was all about the drummer. And then I sort of obviously came to my senses and started playing for the music. So coming into that gig, it was weird to have to go back to doing a drum solo, and albeit an engaging one as well, because the kind of drumming that I was doing was just you just sit there with a really cross look on your face and you just chop out, right? But so to actually engage 2,000 or 3,000 or 500, whatever the audience is, to engage them in an interactive sort of experience, it's actually pretty difficult. And you sort of got to read the audience. It's like the show, don't get me wrong, the show isn't about the drum solo, but when that little 3-minute window comes up, that's all that's happening. There's no one else on stage, so it's up to me to sort of carry that energy and literally engage. And some audiences are more engaging, are more interactive than others. And you got to read it. You know what I mean? It's actually it's a weird thing, man.
The solo I saw you do in Sydney, they were certainly engaged, and it was really interactive, because you'd stop and then they'd scream and then you'd go. And you are such a physical drummer as well. Like you really work hard up there, don't you?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's sort of one of those things. I used to be sort of pretty sort of introverted in my drumming. Like it wasn't that I'm not enjoying myself, but usually in a regular gig, I just sort of be sitting there and I'm listening and taking it all in and having fun. But with this show, it's almost made me come out of my shell a little bit and sort of be a bit more physical and expressive. The haters are going to say, "Oh, Christian, you're just playing a tribute show, man." Well, it's not really that. I take all my gigs 100% sort of serious. I immerse myself in every single gig I do. If it's a pub gig or a theatre with Bjorn again or whatever. I'm putting 100% of myself into it. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm going to send it, man. I'm going to send it 100%.
Hey, and on that point, we don't have haters on that watch this show. So this is a haters-free zone. and the fact that you're 100%, which I agree, because the fact that you put on the blonde wig and the flares and dress up as Anna, you can't get any more 100% than that, really.
Yeah, right.
Okay. To our audience, there is no cross-dressing. You never dress when you're angry. That's right. No cross-dressing.
Absolutely not. I think we'd be in the negative if I was dressing like that, mate. There'd be no one at the gigs.
You know what? I would watch that. I would actually take a lot of joy out of that. Maybe that's another show. Cross-dressing drummers.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. All right. All right, so we've got plenty to talk about, and we get into the deep talk a little later. But now we'll keep it light. And your first song that you're going to perform for us, great angle and great production value. I mean, you've gone. You know, we did a little bit of pre-production stuff, and you've gone to town to make sure this all comes together, which we appreciate very much. Introduce the first song you're going to do for us, and why you chose it, and why it's sort of special for you.
The first song I'm going to do is a song called Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. There's really no other reason other than I just love the aggression. I mean, you know, I'm for all intents and purposes, I am a cover band drummer, but it doesn't mean that covers have to be, you know, the kind of covers that we all sort of get requested in gigs. This song is...
Hey, and we're going to talk about that later too, about the...
Yeah, sure.
Don't you? In Gig Chicken, all right, one of our, you know, most popular segments, we're going to talk about the songs that you get requested. And you can't say horses, all right? Everybody said horses already. But anyway, I've interrupted. You keep going, my man.
No, it's all right. I just, I just like the aggression of the riff. Obviously, I've shortened it down a little bit just to keep it, you know, sort of a little bit shorter. So, you know, it's a little bit edited. But yeah, Bulls on Parade, it's a sick song. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very honoured and pleased to have Christian Nativo performing for us. He's our first instrumentalist, our first, drummer that we've had. And, you know, we'll get around to you all you drummers out there, all you instrumentalists, we will get around to you all. Bulls on Parade, Rage Against the Machine. Take it away, Christian. Amazing energy, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
That was awesome. Yeah, we're going to be responsible for a lot of your work when we come out of this.
Hire me, please. No, it's all good.
Man, hey, we got to mention. I don't know if you caught up with the fact that that we have a sponsor.
Yes, I did.
Our humble little show has a sponsor, and
Awesome.
Cranbourne Music have come on board, and they are supporting the music industry as we are supporting the music industry. So we encourage you to get online or go into their store. So Lynbrook store and Elizabeth Street store, they are open and they are up for business. Now, actually, my son is a vocalist drummer, Christian, and
Cool.
we bought some V drums from Cranbourne Music, and they were awesome. They looked after us. The after sales service was amazing. So should be coming up on your little feed right now, on the Facebook feed right now, is their web address and all their stuff. So go in and support them. So okay, you ready for the deep talk, Christian?
Let's go deep.
Let's go. All right. So we, I guess part of what we do here. You ready to go deep? You ready to go real deep?
Don't egg me on, man.
No, egg. Yes, more egg. The more egg, the better. Let's scramble that. Okay,
it's a
so we're
PG
gonna.
show, man.
Oh no. Well, actually, I don't know what our. I think it's 18 plus.
What's the rate? R-rated.
R-rated. Yeah. Well, we can go as deep as we. We can go as deep as we need to. So, obviously, we talk about COVID-19 and how it's affected everybody. Everybody has a different story, and everybody has a different message. Everybody has a different way that they're coping with things. And so, we start with that really brings it home is gig cancellations, and how it sort of hits you with a wave. Tell us a little bit about how all of a sudden it sort of hit you.
Yeah, well, like everyone else, we're sort of in the same boat. We've officially been wiped out till I think maybe August, September, and that's all. That's really loose. That's basically, if this thing goes on, it'll obviously be further than that. But
when you say we, you mean Bjorn again?
Yeah, Bjorn again, or me in general, I've been wiped out till at least August or September, and realistically, it'll probably be more than that. So, it's been a bit of a shock to the system, and listen, I'll be really honest with you, man. I was pretty ignorant to the whole thing. I'm busy, man. Like we all are. I don't really watch the news that much, and I kind of heard about it. And as far as I knew, it was a virus in China, and it was obviously unfortunate that people had lost their lives. And I obviously, I'm very, very sort of, compassionate to that circumstance. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I got to keep going forward. I got stuff to do. It's probably a little bit selfish, but
that's the situation for a lot of musos, because you're hustling for work and you're hustling for money all the time. So
Absolutely.
You can't really afford to stop, because the work that you do now is the money that you get in 2 or 3 months' time, isn't it? So you're always hustling, you're always pushing, and this is a lot of things people don't quite understand about the music industry. It's not like you can bank in a wage for 12 months. It's you have to hustle.
No, exactly right. So that's exactly right. So the next thing I knew, man, I was wiped out, and me and everyone else. We're all in this. Everyone's been saying we're all in this together. We are literally in this together. You're
not going to jump into a High School Musical song now, are you?
No, hell no. But yeah, and all of a sudden we're all wiped out, and it was kind of. I was talking to a friend of mine, Callie, the other day actually, and Kelly McLagan. She's a really, really amazing singer, and we're having a chat, and it's actually like going through different stages of grief. Because at the start, I was like, okay, everything's been wiped out, and I felt a sense of loss. I honestly felt like a part of me had been sort of, not to get all cliche, blah, 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 but a part of me had been sort of taken from me. And then it went to anger, because I was like, I take, like every person, I take providing for my family really, really seriously, and that got taken away from me. My ability to provide for my family got taken away from me, and I kind of felt anger. I was like how dare this whoever this virus, you hear this conspiracy theories and how it all sort of came about. I don't know what to believe, but what I'm trying to say is like that next phase of grief almost sort of came to fruition, that sense of anger, and my ability to provide for my family had been compromised. And now it's just like to be honest with you, it's just like a bit of a numbness. It's like, I don't know what day it is, like all of us, it's not just me, but I don't know what day it is. I'm being a bit of a prick to everyone around me. I'm just going to call it how it is. I'm not perfect and I have many shortcomings. And at the moment, this kind of situation is bringing some of those shortcomings to the forefront of my
All right. Well,
but that's life,
Just don't be a prick to me during this interview because it won't make for good viewing, okay? Actually, maybe it will make for good. Why don't we have a real, let's have a stouch. We'll improve the ratings.
No home and away here stuff here, mate. No, I mean, listen, do you know what it is? It's a very real thing, like 2 kids, single income family. It's a very real pressure that a lot of partners, or I'd say men, but partners, whoever's earning the income, it's a very real pressure, and not to get sort of too deep down that way, but the early part of my sort of parenthood there was a lot of pressure to produce and all that sort of stuff, and I've been able to sort of navigate that now. We're in a pretty good position, but this whole COVID-19 thing has sort of brought me back to my younger parenthood days, if you know what I mean. That pressure of not having a lot of money, and don't get me wrong, my kids are only 4 and 2. I'm not some seasoned parent or anything, but it's almost taking me back to 4 years ago when my first son was born, and I was like, I gotta make some serious cash. How am I going to do that? It's almost that same feeling of sort of not having anything lined up anymore, and it's pretty gnarly,
and there's no. There's no roadmap. We don't know. And I think not to be an alarmist, but the entertainment industry, in terms of people gathering together for functions or nightclubs or pubs, I reckon that's going to be the last thing that the government eases on, because, big gatherings of people. So that's, there's a lot of grey area there. And you talk about being, the breadwinner in the fam, and you've obviously got young kids. Your wife, who is also in the arts, she's a photographer too. And so I guess from that point of view, there's no income stream coming from that either, is there?
No, we're both wiped out. I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to migrate a lot of my drum lessons onto online lessons, and I've also been able to. So I own a music school as well. I don't know if maybe most people don't know that, but I own a music school. I've got 8 staff working for me, and
tell us where people can find out about that, Christian.
We're just a music school. We just operate in primary schools, so we don't have a physical location. We provide instrumental music programs to primary schools. But yeah, same thing. We've been able to get a lot of that online. And even just offering like extra value, I've been putting on like free, I've been getting my teachers to put on free concerts for all of our students that they can log on to online and watch, and just little things like that to sort of spur on that kind of change. But so I've been able to get most of my lessons online, and that's sort of eased the pressure a little bit, pausing them.
And if there are any parents out there watching at the moment, where can they find you if they want their kids? Because if kids are homebound at the moment, great time to pick up an instrument, maybe go to Cranbourne Music, buy an instrument, and then get online and learn from Christian. Wow, we're satisfying everybody here. Yep. Where can they find you online?
Yeah, just christiannativo.com is the easiest one. Facebook, Insta, YouTube, whatever. I'm on all of them. But just I'm happy to sort of to go down that path with students. And it's the way I do it with the online lessons, it's still pretty interactive. There's a lot of screen sharing and also a lot of pre-recorded videos being sent back and forth. All of my students have a Dropbox that we so basically I'm using Zoom and I record sections of the lesson, and that actually becomes like the students' practice diary, which we would usually use. Instead of writing practice tasks, I'm actually just making little practice videos of me telling them what to practice. And then at the end of the Zoom meeting, all those videos get saved on my hard drive, and then I transfer it to our shared Dropbox folder. So for that week, they can just reference those videos, and it kind of facilitates their home practice. So you just got to roll with the punches and adapt. It's not regular teaching, but this is how it's teaching as we know it now. So,
yeah. It's and kids would embrace technology too. They're not really scared of technology, and so that they would embrace that opportunity to perform online or to interact.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny you should say that, because I was just before earlier this afternoon, I was doing a PD session for one of the secondary schools that I work at. So there's about 150 of our staff, logged in, and we're all talking about, what about the students that that don't engage in regular classroom lessons, and how are they going to react to the online lessons? And a lot of us were saying they're probably actually going to flourish. In this whole thing, technology, they're into it. It gives them a challenge, something to navigate through. So we might actually find that, and I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about this, amongst all this, chaos and mayhem, there might actually be some good things that come out of it for education and for a lot of other industries. People are adapting and basically figuring out how to make it work. So for education, there might be a lot of students that actually flourish from this because of the use of technology, and they're being stimulated in a different way other than, all right, here's a textbook, a boring teacher that doesn't know how to deliver content, for example. Not saying anyone. So it might actually stimulate a lot of students. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, look, I agree. I mean, the key word, the corporate word at the moment is agility, isn't it? And pivot, and everybody's, pivoting and restructuring their business offering. And certainly you've been able to do that. One thing I'd be really interested to know is you're obviously getting an insight into to the psyche of a lot of the kids. How are they coping with it? Because it's a big deal. All of a sudden, they're not allowed to go out. They got to stay at home. Have you sensed anything from kids?
Well, definitely. In my own kids, it's been a whole thing in on its own. But in the kids that I've been teaching, definitely, I've found that it's kind of every student's different, but just general sort of restlessness and uncertainty, even in kids. Like we sort of, I think like sometimes we sort of shortchange kids on their ability to feel certain emotions. They're feeling the uncertainty as well, most certainly. And I think in my particular industry as an educator, it's up to us to sort of to ease that uncertainty and to sort of, I don't know, deliver content in a way that's engaging and that sort of almost distracts them from what's going out in the real world, because it's a very real thing what's happening out there. Make no mistake about it. This isn't some lighthearted thing. Kids are just off for a little bit, off from school for a little bit. This is a serious thing. So I think it's up to, like I said, in my particular industry, it's up to us educators on how we're delivering the content to sort of get them out of their funk, so to speak, and give them something to look forward to. But yeah, they've definitely been a little bit restless. My kids are running up and down the walls. That's a whole other thing. They're just sending it to 100 out of 100. But yeah, so what do you do though, man? It's
what do you do? Well, look, that's an interesting point. Obviously, we are Facebook friends, and I noticed on the weekend that you were out bike riding with the family and stuff. So if there is one good thing about this, it's ISO bike riding.
We didn't touch anything. We didn't see anyone. I actually didn't know you're not allowed to do that. I'm very ignorant. I don't watch the news. I'm trying to stay away from it for my own mental health. I didn't know that you can get fined. I'm just out there like just getting the bikes on the bike rack. Just like, come on guys, let's go for a ride. And like there's no one around. So don't freak out. Anyone? We didn't touch anything. We didn't see anyone. Didn't even look at anyone. But I didn't know. So we won't be doing that anymore. Like I didn't know you can't do that. So.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can exercise with the family. You can exercise with the members of your family.
We went for a pilgrimage. We put the bikes on the bike rack and drove like 10 minutes down the road.
Right.
It's like everyone thought we're going on a bloody holiday. Like, no, we're not going anywhere. Okay. Relax. But,
so if anyone from Victoria Police is watching, we just say, hey,
don't fine him.
He's got no money anyway, so don't fine him. All right. Or don't fine me from live from the lockdown lounge. And you see what you've done. You've created drama. Yeah. Hey, so there's you touched on mental health a little bit before, and we all have our different ways of coping with this. And obviously, you're well connected with the music industry. Have you been speaking to many of your colleagues and seeing how they're going in, or have others checked in with you? How do you reckon that the industry as a whole, in particular around your network, is coping?
We're not coping. No one's coping. I'll put that out there loud and clear. No one's coping. I reach out to my friends all the time, and others are doing that to me as well. Online chats, there's people having bloody birthdays and stuff online. I think it's awesome. But yeah, no one's really coping, man. We're all sort of trying, the best of our ability to sort of navigate through this. But yeah, I'm reaching out to friends of mine and likewise. And I guess we're just, you know what, we're just talking about it, man. Like it's, I think gone are the days. I heard Louis mention this last week about, the Aussie bloke, we don't talk, and you know what, it's true, we don't talk. I'm a very emotional guy. I'll just put that out there. So I do talk a lot. And man, like, you bet your bottom dollar, if I'm not vibing, I'll let you know. Do you know what I mean? And for one reason or another, I just express my feelings. It's probably a shortcoming of mine, but whatever.
Well, it's not actually. I think that's probably the best way to cope, is to express your feelings. I think when you suppress your feelings is probably when you get into trouble, because you're not acknowledging what you're feeling. And I mean, I would put that message out there, is you need to express with your friends, and you need to express with your colleagues and your partners, whatever it may be. But bring it
definitely.
out.
And I think I can't talk for anyone else, but I know that like my moods have changed a lot. And just in terms of even my household having to sort of navigate around that. By no means am I abusive or anything heavy like that, but I've got short tempers and mood swings, because I'm like a lot of like a lot of us in the industry. Like, that uncertainty plays havoc on your mind, and in situations where we should be compassionate and loving to friends and family, with this short fuse comes out of nowhere and we just explode. So it's very complicated, very, very complicated to navigate through.
Yeah. Look, and we appreciate that you being, so open and honest about that. We,
Sure.
on our website, we do have websites and other platforms that are there to help people, like Beyond Blue and other things like that. We asked all our artists if they'd like an e-commerce platform made up for them, where people can contribute. You didn't want that, but like Louis, I guess you're happy for people to donate to Beyond Blue.
100%. That's where I want the money to go. Mate, the amount of tens of thousands that I'll lose this year, nothing can compete with that. I'd rather the people's people's donations go to something like that can help everyone. So by all means, 100%.
Yep. And so if you want to, and that'll be coming up on your Facebook feed now. So I have minions working for me right now. My brother Steve Rolt. Hey Steve, he's typing away. So he should be typing down lockdownlounge.live right now in real time on the Facebook feed. He's also what he's doing, he's listening to our comments and trying to type really quickly funny lines, so that it's a holistic experience for everyone. But he's got really big thumbs, and so it's hard for him to type while he's But anyway, so go to lockdownlounge.live, and you can see lots of different platforms there where you can support, donate for mental health. We also have all of our interviews on lockdownlounge.live, and so you can enjoy this. People will want to watch this one again and again, Christian, because you've been so riveting and so interesting, and you're such a talented man. People will just,
I try, Jesus.
Yeah, well, you don't. The thing is, you don't try, and you still do that. So, all right. So, we're going to play the second song now. So, introduce this second song, and then we are coming back with a bit of gig chicken. But tell us what you've chosen and why you've chosen for this second song.
Okay, so the second song is from an old band of mine called Vanishing Point, as you mentioned in the bio at the start. I was in Vanishing Point for 8 years.
Wow.
And it was a really, really good time in my life. It was, we had some mild success. We're just a local band like anyone else, but we had some mild success. We had an opportunity to do some really cool support slots, as you mentioned also. This song is from the last album that I played on called, what was it called? Jesus. Distant is the Sun. Distant is the Sun. It's been a while. 2014 I finished up with them, so it's been a minute. It was Distant is the Sun is the album. This particular song is just a song that always resonated with me when we were writing it. It's called As December Fades. I've shortened it down a little bit, so if it doesn't sound like it flows a bit, I've shortened it down because it's about a 7-minute song or something. I don't know. So it's it's a good favourite song of mine.
Fantastic. All right. So from his original days, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget to jump on Christian's social, support him. And if you've got kids out there or kids are watching and you want some drum lessons online, he is your man. So here he is, As December Fades. Take it away, my man. Amazing, man. Oh, we got another one.
Hey, can I just say, I just took my whole frustration of COVID-19 out on these poor drums. Sorry, my babies. I'm sorry.
I got that. That was good channeling of aggression, my man.
Dude, I just wanted to kill things. I'm good. I'm back to normal. I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Just be nice to the host. That's all we ask. Be gentle with that, man. That was so good. Such great energy. And that's an original song, right?
Yeah. It's an original song.
Wow. And any more originals? Like, is that still something you're doing now? You're writing?
A little bit. I play in a band called Lucy's Crown, which is a female-fronted sort of grunge alternative band. We're on a bit of a break at the moment, but yeah, we've had a couple of albums released in Japan and worldwide, and that's a whole thing. So yeah, Lucy's Crown, and but yeah, mainly just the cover stuff as well.
Fantastic, man.
Hey, and just tell 2 seconds.
That is okay.
I really gave it to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. We want that passion. We want you to leave everything on the floor. Well, not everything on the floor. That would be kind of yuck, but no.
A few things.
But tell our audience once again where they can find you online, just if they want to hear and listen to all your stuff, or to if they've got kids they want to get lessons from.
Yeah, just christiannativo.com is my website. If you want to see some of my stuff, my YouTube channel is probably the best place to see all that stuff. You can see the drum solos from Bjorn again and some older stuff as well. So, yeah, it's all good.
Fantastic, man. All right, and my minion Steve Rolt will be typing that as we speak right now. So it's just gone. I haven't got my watch in front. It's probably about 8:45 p.m. right now, and we are coming to you live from the Lockdown Lounge Tuesday night with our special guest, Christian Nativo. Now, Christian, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. We do a segment called Gig Chicken. It's one of our most popular segments, and anyone that is watching us for the first time, if you played in a lot of cover bands, corporate bands, every time you play, you get chicken. And it's chicken, it's fried, it's boiled, it's gravelled, it's chicken placed under armpits and served on plates. Can you think of any other chicken you've had?
Can I just make a comment? I'm the guy like swapping out the chicken for the lamb when if the guitarist goes to the toilet, I'll swap out the chicken. I want the meat, man.
You want the meat? Yeah. But it doesn't. You still get chicken, don't you?
Always. Sometimes we all get chicken.
We all get chicken.
Grateful to get fed. Let's keep it on the positive.
Yeah. Good point.
We've done some gigs where we don't get fed. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, are you ready to play Gig Chicken, Christian?
Yeah, hit me.
Yes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Gig Chicken. Roll the sting. Yes, that was Gig Chicken Sting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the person responsible for that sting and the chicken harmonies in the background is a person you know, Mr. T&J. So, yeah, just amazing. He studied chickens and their vocal range, and he was able to do the whole mock, and then Gig Chicken, and then he's put his finger, Gig Chicken, and yeah, got the harmonies. It's amazing. Most people would see that as quite foul, but in fact, it's not. There you go. That was my chicken joke. Okay, enough about me, Christian. This is Gig Chicken. So we don't have a budget for a clock, but it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, Gig Chicken. Question 1: best gig you have ever played?
Probably without a doubt. It was like we mentioned before. My old band Vanishing Point supported Iron Maiden for their Perth and Melbourne shows. So definitely, the Perth and 2 Melbourne shows of the Maiden tour was probably the sickest thing I've ever done. And I mean, it was kind of cool because we were sort of like the direct support. We weren't like, there wasn't like, us and then a major support and then Maiden. It was us before Maiden. So, it might have been maybe 6,000-7,000 for most of the venues by the time, we sort of came on. So, yeah, it was pretty sick. So,
yeah, and did you get to meet the guys from Iron Maiden?
Yeah, we met them. They're really, really sick. I actually, just a quick story. I actually got invited by Nico McBrain's drum tech to sit behind him while he played the trooper. So like if you can imagine that. So like there's
Wow.
this little cage of where he is sort of thing, and I was right there, and he actually looked back at me and like vibed, and I was just like, I'm done. I could
done?
die right. This was when I was 18, by the way, so it's a while ago now, but I could have just died right then and I would have been done. So it's pretty sick.
Man, that's a cool story. One of the great things about Gig Chicken is we get some fantastic stories. Like Louis met Robbie Williams, you know.
Yeah.
You played with Iron Maiden. Man, this is great.
Yes,
this is great.
Sick. So,
Okay. Question number 2, Gig Chicken. Weirdest gig you ever played?
Okay. It may not sound weird to some people. I did a corporate gig with Bjorn again for a rich lady's 50th birthday, and she got a professional scaffolding company to set up the stage on top of her swimming pool. So it was this rich house in Brighton somewhere, and she literally set up a massive stage over her massive swimming pool while we played to like 20 people, 20 of her closest friends. And it was weird because like that may not you got to picture it. It may not sound that weird, but
no, that's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
What was worse is that the scaffolding stairs that went up to the scaffold stage, there was no hand barrier on the other side. So if you stacked it, you're going in the pool. Do you know what I mean? So like,
was your first song Waterloo?
Actually. I never thought of that. It actually was.
Was there?
It actually was. Yeah.
Oh man, I should so much be in the music industry.
But that was weird. It was just, and it was raining. It was a weird night, and then someone sparked a joint later, and it was just weird. Not from us, one of her guests.
Oh really? Gee, that's unusual. Someone in the music industry sparking a joint.
No,
Gee.
never from us. No.
No. Okay, good answer. Okay, just so you know, you're winning Gig Chicken so far. Okay, after question 2. Question 3, Gig Chicken. Last time you were nervous?
When COVID-19 hit, I got pretty nervous. No, just joking. Last time listen, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't get nervous much anymore, and it's not because I don't care. It's because I've sort of learnt to turn off that fight or flight sort of feeling that I get. I was actually talking to someone, I talk to a lot of people, talking to someone about this maybe about 6 months ago, and we're talking about the feeling of nervousness and the feeling of that fight or flight sensation that you get before stage, and whether or not that's good for the human being to feel that on a regular basis, because yeah, so I won't go into it, but yeah, it was just a conversation we're having about whether it's healthy for us to feel that fight or flight sensation every time. So I've kind of tried to block it out, but I don't know. Whenever I play, big venues, I'll feel a bit of a tickle. Yeah.
Look, I have a theory on that, and both my kids are performers. Hello, Sabrina and Ethan, watching tonight, hopefully. I got to force them to watch my show.
They better watch.
They better watch. Well, they got nothing else to do other than play on their computers and go on Tinder and stuff like that.
Hey.
My message to them is there's good nerves and there's bad nerves. Bad nerves are when you're not prepared and you think, shit, I don't know if I'm gonna hit the right notes or I'm gonna play the right chords or whatever it may be. They're bad nerves. And good nerves are when you know you're prepared and there's excitement for performance. And I think if you can if you can harness the good nerves and you know that, hey, I've worked hard, and I reckon that's kind of where you're alluding to, because I know you've done gigs with my band before and you do your homework, and we've got a lot of medleys, we've got a lot of variations, and I was so impressed when you came and gigged with us that you just did all your homework. You knew everything, and so I can't imagine you ever having bad nerves because you do your homework.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you should mention that. A friend of mine, Adrian Violi, a good drummer friend of mine, he runs a vet VCE class, and he actually reached out to some of us industry guys if some of his students could, sort of interview us just about, the industry and stuff. And a lot of the questions were about, do you get nervous and how do you manage nerves? And I actually sort of said to him, this young student, might have been year 11 or 12. I said to him, to be honest with you, I don't get nervous because I'm always prepared. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's not a cocky thing. No, forget all that.
It's being a professional musician. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it's about my reputation, about my my brand, whatever brand I have. I don't know what I've got, but it's like like you're like any of us, where you're literally as good as your last gig. So because I'm over prepared. I'm early. I'm prepared. I've got spare gear. I've like anything that can hit me during the lead up from when I get to a gig to the end of a gig. I've got first aid. Like I carry everything with me. That's why
You carry first aid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Crap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah. Well, I remember
yeah.
the gig with I was just lying down, before we went on stage, and you wanted to give me mouth to mouth, and I was like, Christian, I'm okay. I just had some gig chicken, but why are you? And yeah, then he started beating on my chest, and I was like, okay, all right, you are over prepared, my friend.
No. Yeah, well, yes. Well, no. But in all seriousness, I'm over prepared because, we all know, man, in this industry, anything can happen, and anything that can happen will happen. Murphy's Law. So I find that it helps me with my nerves because I know that if something does go well, first of all, I always know the material. I know what I'm doing, so that's like the number one. But in the unknowns, I carry materials and things at my disposal so that anything that when something unknown does happen, I can just at least band-aid it in the best of my ability. So that kind of helps with my nerves because I know that I'm prepared in multiple different situations. Nothing really bad can happen because I can fix it. So yeah, it's a deep question. It's multifaceted, but and it probably sound like a know-it-all to most people. I'm sorry, soz not soz, but that's just my work ethic, man. I can't.
No. That just you just sound like a professional, man. You just sound like a professional that
Try.
knows his stuff and makes sure he prepares. So well done.
Cool.
Okay, you're still leading Gig Chicken as we go. All right. Most requested song.
I'm going to get this microphone and stab my head with it. Probably The Horses, Jesse's Girl, Summer of '69. Hey, don't get me wrong. Hey, I need to, what's that word? I need to make a disclaimer. When I say stuff like that, I'm grateful to be working, don't get me wrong, but there are some songs. I reckon collectively, in our industry, we've played these songs more than the original artists themselves. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely. Well, that's the nature of a cover band. And you know what? A little secret that gives you a bit of an insight into my age. I do moisturize people. But I played all of those songs when they first came out. So I was playing in a cover band when Summer of '69 first came out and when Jesse's Girl first came out. And so this is the beauty of why, I've been singing for so long. I don't have to learn new songs. I've just been regurgitating the same songs for the last 30, 40 years, and it's fantastic. Get me to learn a new song. It's not going to happen.
Do you know what? It's easy for us to sometimes get complacent about the songs we have to play, but at the end of the day, I try and always sort of look at it with a little bit of hindsight. I think to myself, all right, someone's just requested Jess's Girl, but if that's my way of making them happy for that little window of opportunity that they're out at a function or out at a pub or out at a wedding, if that's my little contribution to make them happy for 3 minutes of Jesse's Girl, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's easy to forget that we're entertainers, and that's why I played Bulls on Parade before. That's a song that I like. It's not a song that got requested. So, it's if someone requests, Jesse's Girl or Horses, I'm going to play the absolute goddamn crap out of it. Do you know what I mean? For that,
good man.
Just to give them that little vibe for that little moment that we owe them that. That's our job. So it's,
And you know what? We should always remember that Jesse is a friend and he's always been a good friend of mine. We should always remember that.
You're going to hell for that, pal. Exit stage left, stage right.
The big hook. Hey, the big hook has come for me on stage many, many times, but I keep dodging. Alrighty. Most famous person you've met or performed for?
Once again, probably Iron Maiden, Satriani. There's a few.
Satriani's pretty cool. Satriani's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, there's a few iconic people that I've been very, very fortunate to sort of meet and play with. Before I joined Bjorn again, they played like Russell Crowe's wedding. They've played for like Vladimir Putin, like these crazy clients that you would never either. Yeah, so that's a little
Vladimir Putin. They played.
Yeah. No kidding. There was an event that they got hired for, and we just did we just did an event in Singapore last year. We literally got flown over to do a 45-minute set for American Express. So there was a whole bunch of high rollers flying in with their private jets. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, probably Iron Maiden is my answer.
Iron Man, man, that's good. Hey, great news. You've won Gig Chicken. We'll be sending you a specially prepared piece of chicken in the mail.
Yes.
So wait for that. It may not be warm, maybe a little cold by the time it gets you, but it's the sentiment.
I'll reheat it, pal. I'll reheat it. It's all good.
Reheated Gig Chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gig Chicken. Roll the sting. Amazing. I love the sting, ladies and gentlemen. All chickens were harmed during the making of Gig Chicken emotionally. Thank you, T&J, for your amazing chicken vocals there. Hey, Christian, you have been an amazing guest and an insightful guest, and so relaxed too. Have you done many of these type of things before?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah.
Well, actually, your question about being nervous, I was nervous for this. 100% I was nervous for this. And, it's because, technology and, it's like 9-something p.m. now. It's like, it's technology and, I don't know, at nighttime my NBN gets a bit weird. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can go wrong that I don't have a remedy for in this particular
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
a little bit
downloading... Downloading porn will do that to your NBN.
Oh, listen, don't egg me on, man, because I'm not.
Okay. No. It's a family show. Hey, now you may know this guy. Coming up on Thursday night, we're just promoting Thursday night's show. We have iconic blues guitarist Rob Papp, who is awesome. He's been playing down the Mornington Peninsula for years. He's now still doing wineries and things like that. Amazing guitarist. He's had a bit of a health scare in the last couple of years, which he's going to talk about, but he is still out there and he can make that guitar sing the blues. So tune in on Thursday night for that one, 8 p.m. Now, we do a closing segment. We've got segments galore here. I mean, this is the production values of Live from the Lockdown Lounge. It's amazing. Every week we do every night we do coping with lockdown. Each week we bring you a funny video of how people are coping with lockdown. Now, this one is from Ricky Gervais, who is talking about how celebrities are coping with lockdown. I love Ricky Gervais.
Me too.
Have a watch of this.
Who's whinging? Celebrities, millionaire celebrities. I'm stuck in my mansion. I'm fed up. There's only so many times I can go for a swim. I'm all sad. I'm not on the telly every night. Fuck. And if I see another article with a Hollywood actress going makeup free. The fuck? Oh, right, yeah, we're all chipping in, aren't we? Makeup free. Fucking hell. You see pictures of nurses when they take their mask off at the end of a 20-hour shift. Bruises, fucking welts, fucking... Oh, God. Oh, but some millionaire celebrities are a bit fed up. Fucking hell. Anyway. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Those poor celebrities in their $1 million mansions having to, stay there. Oh, poor celebrities. Hey, Christian, you have been awesome. Let me say one more time that we are brought to you by the amazing Cranbourne Music. Get online or go in store. Check them out. These guys are amazing. Christian, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for sharing your stories. We always finish with a final message. Anything that you want to put out there to either the music industry or our massive viewership. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands that have missed the show, but there's 7 or 8 that got to see the show. Any message for our viewers out there?
I guess just keep it real, man. You know, remember that. You know, as cliche as it sounds, none of us are alone. We all do actually have each other. You know, call upon friends and family. You know, if you're really battling, just reach out, and you know, there's Support Act, there's Beyond Blue. Just reach out and talk. It doesn't matter who you talk to, just talk. And you know, I don't know when, but eventually we're all going to come out of this. I can guarantee it. So, you know, man, message me, call me. I'm happy to talk to anyone. It's, you know, and I'm sure that people will do the same for me. We just got to help each other through it. Yeah. So just reach out, talk about it, and kick COVID-19's ass. Can I say that? Ass.
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah.
The more controversial we are, the better for us. No, that's a really good message, and it's been a really consistent message from from everyone we've interviewed. And there's a real heart in the music industry, and I guess it's a really common thread within all artists. They very much wear their heart on their sleeves, and everyone's very concerned for each other. Everyone's very emotional, but we're all about, you know, just talking and supporting, and it's a great message.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's you know, it's just one of those things. We're literally all affected, so we just have to sort of band together and, you know, talk our feelings out and deal with it.
Yep. Man, you have been an awesome guest. You're an awesome drummer. You're an awesome human. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching live from the Lockdown Lounge, brought to you by Cranbourne Music. We'll see you on Thursday night with blues legend Rob Papp. Thank Christian Nativo one more time. Thank you, Christian. Good night. Live from the Lockdown Lounge.